What's your favorite dinosaur? Okay.
I didn't like dinosaurs.
Animal Behavior, the only show where the hosts make a public fool of themselves to educate you. You better be grateful.
Excuse me, sir? On the balcony? What's your favorite dinosaur? T-Rex is a good answer. Thank you. So T-Rex was really the answer that I expected to hear the most from people, and I think at the end of the day, it was the answer that I heard the most from people. Tyrannosaurus Rex is easily the most popular of all the dinosaurs. You actually see kind of a bell curve of people who say that T-Rex is their favorite dinosaur. Typically speaking, if somebody says that T-Rex is their favorite dinosaur, they either know nothing about T-Rex, or they know everything about T-Rex. And then people who know an intermediate about T-Rex tend to think that T-Rex is incredibly overrated. But when you really look into T-Rex, you start to realize that T-Rex isn't overrated, it's just actually incredibly awesome. T-Rex had the largest bite force of any land animal of all time, the largest brain size of any dinosaur of all time, potentially the greatest sense of smell of any animal of all time, teeth the size of bananas, grapefruit-sized eyes, so this scene in Jurassic Park where they can't see you, yeah, absolute bunk. Of course they could see you. Not only could they see you, they could potentially see you from miles away. And they were actually probably able to hear pretty well too. T-Rex was almost the ultimate killing machine. The only problem that it had was that it probably could not run very fast. So this scene of it keeping up with a Jeep is not very accurate. But no fear, because as it turns out, tyrannosaurs may be social animals. And if that's the case, hunting in a family dynamic may come with the benefit of the fact that the young ones were actually quite fast, and it's hypothesized by some that young T-Rex may have chased prey into the jaws of the adults. You may have seen sensationalized media articles about Jack Horner saying that T-Rex is exclusively a scavenger, and that's definitely not true. And we know that to not be true, not only because T-Rex literally has an entire army arsenal in its face, but also because there are actually healed-over bite marks from failed attempts at predation by T-Rex. We actually know more about T-Rex than most animals in the fossil record, and more about T-Rex than actually probably a surprising number of extant animals. Ever since its public description by Osborn in 1905, T-Rex has captivated the world. Tell me your favorite dinosaur.
Tyrannosaurs? I don't know.
Tyrannosaurs. That's a good answer. So believe it or not, this is actually a different answer than T-Rex. I'm not totally confident that she knew that, but regardless, the tyrannosaurs are actually not limited to T-Rex, but rather the tyrannosaurs include all members of the superfamily Tyrannosauroidea. So the Tyrannosauroidea actually includes several families, including of note the Tyrannosaurids, which includes two subfamilies, the Tyrannosaurines and the Albertosaurines, but also several other families, such as the Proceratosauridae, the Megaraptoridae, the Coelosauridae, and others. The tyrannosaurs or tyrannosauroids, both are equally accurate terms for the same thing, originate in the latest Jurassic, and by the time of the end of the Cretaceous, had taken over the entire northern hemisphere as the top predators. In particular, the ones of note that did take over the northern hemisphere were the Tyrannosaurids. So that would be your Albertosaurines and Tyrannosaurines, so things like T-Rex, Albertosaurus, Gorgosaurus, Daspletosaurus, and Tarbosaurus would have been very much ones of note. You might also know some like the far north Nanoxaurus or the diminutive Moros intrepidus. The bracketing definition of Tyrannosauroidea the bracketed definition of the Tyrannosauroidea has changed a few times, but the most current one is that any member of the Tyrannosauroidea has to be closer related to Tyrannosaurus rex than to Ornithomimus, Velociraptor, or Troodon, which puts the node here. Again, a really good answer for my purposes in being able to teach all of you, but I'm just not totally confident that this lady in this rich neighborhood actually knew her phylogenetic bracketing of tyrannosaurs. But that's why I make videos like this, so that people like you who might not know, or people who already know and just want to hear it back again, can learn something new or have their scientific love refreshed. I have to shit. And
I should not have had Thai food last night. What's all y'all's favorite dinosaur?
Dinosaur?
Dinosaur.
Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Brontosaurus. Brontosaurus? Invalid genus.
Wrong! Max is wrong! You're wrong! Max can be wrong! Brontosaurus has been a valid genus since 2015! You should know that!
Thank you, Brady. Yes, I was wrong. And I realized it the moment I said it. It's true. Brontosaurus was, for a long time, considered to not be a valid genus. But as of 2015, it has been returned to its status as a valid genus, and thus you are valid in having it as your favorite dinosaur. I knew all of this, but unfortunately I was just not thinking at the time. Brontosaurus is a genus of apatosaurid sauropod dinosaur from the Morrison Formation. That's towards the end of the Jurassic period, discovered in 1879 by Othniel Charles Marsh of Bone Wars fame. Now, one must understand that during the Bone Wars, people would name new genera based on very little, just because they wanted to beat out the other guys. Naming genera was something of a competition, and so what you'd find is that one genera would be named multiple names. Animals given multiple taxonomic classifications to the same animal would have to stick with the original name given to them. So that ended up being sort of the controversy between Apatosaurus and Brontosaurus, in that Apatosaurus was a dinosaur that was named first, and Brontosaurus was later reclassified into Apatosaurus. The original skeleton that was mounted did not have a skull to it, so it was given a rather poor reconstructed skull that partially included chimerosaur bits, so the skull of the original, I guess, look of the Brontosaurus at the Yale Peabody Museum was not an animal that ever existed. In 1903, Elmer Riggs actually took another look at the Brontosaurus skeletons, comparing them to Apatosaurus with an outside look of, not being part of this bone war between Marsh and Cope, and he decided that they were not different enough to be in separate genera. So he assigned Brontosaurus to the genus Apatosaurus. Fast forward to 2015, and then we get a paper primarily authored by Emmanuel Schaap. I hope I said that right. And this paper asserts, based on multiple lines of evidence, that Brontosaurus actually is quite different from Apatosaurus after all, and does belong in its own genus. So, now in the modern day, we see the return of the thunder lizard. So bravo to you, buddy. I was wrong, and you were right.
What's yours?
Don't have one.
Stegosaurus.
That's a good one.
Yeah, thank you.
Shame on you.
I'm running right now, man.
Okay. I'm terribly sorry about that. What's your favorite dinosaur, though?
Come on, man.
It's a hard question, I know.
Leave me alone.
Oh. See, people around here, they just don't like dinosaurs.
Thankfully, I was proven wrong when I met this lovely young woman who was very passionate about learning what we had to teach. Unfortunately, her answer was terrible.
That's not a dinosaur. In fact, that's a pterosaur, a relative of dinosaurs. Crocodilians, pterosaurs, and dinosaurs. Dinosaurs including birds. And pterosaurs are actually the sister group of dinosaurs. They're actually slightly closer related to dinosaurs than crocodilians are, but they're not themselves dinosaurs.
So the pterodactyl falls into what?
Pterosaurs.
The pterosaurs. Oh,
Yeah.
Okay, very good. All right. Well, I'm glad I was slower than that guy because I learned something new.
What is your favorite dinosaur?
T-Rex.
That's a popular answer today. There's not, I think, an exact number that differentiates ponds from lakes. I think the number of turtles matters. How many turtles do you think could fit in there?
At least one.
See, if at least one could fit in there, I'd call it a pond. But if at least like fucking 500 turtles could fit in there, I might call it like a lake.
Well, that's not how at least means, because at least 500 turtles would also be at least one.
Shit.
You're thoughts.
Well, what about, we'd have to go by at most. At most, how many turtles do you think could fit in here?
Maybe like a couple thousand.
That's a pond, I think. I don't know.
I think. Comment down below if it's a pond.
Is this a pond or a lake? Your opinions matter to us. Don't point the camera away from me, you bastard. Your opinions matter to us. We want to know. What's your favorite dinosaur? Brady.
I'm just giving the fans what they want.
My feet?
Yeah.
This is really fucking pretentious. What's your favorite dinosaur?
Fuck you.
Good answer.